Hey everybody, what is going on? HexLex here. Got another Master Duel video for you. So the time of Mitsurugi Ryzeal in Master Duel is upon us. Coming at you with my day one build here. Not quite day one, actually the time this video goes out should be right before the pack drops. And then I've actually built this deck a few days before the pack comes out. This is the weekend before. But I have been keeping my nose down, and I've been researching a lot of builds and combo guides, and I think I've put together a build that's going to be great for Master Duel here. It looks like a lot at 44 cards, but actually that's because this deck is so unbelievably consistent we can very easily get away with playing over 40. We'll do a more in-depth deck breakdown after I show you the combos. I want to show you those combos to make sure that we have a good idea of how the deck works. Also, if you are watching this video early, that means that you're a YouTube member, so thank you for joining as a YouTube member. Yeah, I put this video up a few days before it actually went live on the channel for members to see early, so if you want to get in on that, as well as have your name featured at the end credits of every video and get some exclusive emotes and badges, go ahead and click the join button below next to the subscribe button to join as a YouTube member today. But let's not waste any more time, let's get right into these combos. Alright, to start off, we're going to do a one-card combo line with Ice Ryzeal, because you don't actually need to open both pieces of engine in order to be able to access both pieces of engine with this deck. We're going to start by normal summoning our Ice Ryzeal, which will of course allow us to special summon another Ryzeal monster from our deck. We're going to want to special summon X Ryzeal. Now, X Ryzeal can of course add another Fire Thunder Ryzeal monster from deck to hand. We're going to grab Sword Ryzeal. Now, at this point, we're not yet locked into rank 4s, which actually doesn't matter too much, but we do play a couple of League 2s in our extra deck, so if you want access to those, then you're going to want to not summon Sword Ryzeal just yet. Instead, we're going to go into our King of the Feral Imps. This is a generic rank 4 that allows you to add any reptile monster from deck to hand. This is how we bridge between Mitsurugi and Ryzeal, and is one of the main reasons why these two archetypes play so well together. We're going to activate our King of the Feral Imps effect, discarding, or detaching rather, one of our Ryzeal monsters. And now we can add any reptile monster from deck to hand. We're going to want to grab one of our copies of Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi, and add that from deck to hand. We can now activate the effect of our Habakiri to reveal it, and now we can special summon a Mitsurugi monster from our deck. We're going to want to special summon Saji, the red kind of fiery looking one here. They're all dark, it's not actually fire, but you're going to want to special summon Saji, because this is going to allow you to add a Mitsurugi spell from deck to hand. We do have to tribute a monster. We can tribute King of the Feral Imps because we don't need it. We're going to activate the effect of Saji, and now we're going to want to add a copy of Mitsurugi Ryzeal from our deck to our hand. Now, Mitsurugi Ryzeal, we're going to activate this next. And this can special summon a reptile ritual monster from either our deck by using materials in the hand or field, or one from the hand by using materials from the deck. We're going to start with the latter. We're going to summon from our hand the Habakiri, and we're going to do so by sending from our deck Night Sword Serpent, as well as Kusanagi. We'll special summon that right over here. Now this will trigger both graveyard effects of the two cards that we distributed. We're going to trigger the Night Sword Serpent effect to special summon itself, and we're also going to trigger the Kusanagi effect. Because it was tributed, we can add a Mitsurugi card from our graveyard back to our hand. We're going to grab that ritual again. And Night Sword Serpent can just go like right over here. Alright, now at this point we can go ahead and make our Ryzeal Duo Drive, because Exceed summoning this will also not lock us into rank 4. And we can activate the effect of Duo Drive, the first one actually, to attach one of our Ryzeal monsters from the graveyard. Now let's activate the second effect and detach two of our materials here. And with that we can add Cross, and I believe Sword adds the Thunder, or the Light Pyro ones, right? So we're going to add Node Ryzeal, because it's a Fire Thunder. We can activate the Ryzeal Cross, and now we're protected from further hand traps. We did play into Nibiru a little bit with the Mitsurugi stuff, but even if your opponent hits you with Nibiru as you're doing your Mitsurugi plays, that's fine, because remember, you still have Sword Ryzeal in hand and Ryzeal cards in your graveyard, meaning at any point, you can just special summon Sword Ryzeal and then just go into Ryzeal plays, and it's completely fine. Okay, so from this point, we're going to keep going with our Mitsurugi plays before we 4-lock ourselves here. Let's go ahead and activate the Mitsurugi Ritual. Now we're going to special summon a reptile ritual monster from our deck using materials on the hand or field. We're going to summon the Ame no Murakumo no Mitsurugi, and we're going to tribute our on-field Habakiri in order to do so. Throw that right over here. Now this will trigger the effect of our Habakiri, which will allow us to special summon, and also we get to add another Mitsurugi card from our deck to our hand. This time we're going to grab a copy of Mitsurugi Prayer, and then yes, we are definitely going to special summon right over here. Alright, now we can activate Mitsurugi Prayers, which can either add a Mitsurugi monster from deck to hand, or we can special Mitsurugi monster from hand or graveyard, or we can tribute a Mitsurugi monster, a reptile rather, in order to do both effects. So we're going to tribute the other ritual summoned monster here, the Murakumo. We're going to send that off, and we're going to apply both effects in sequence. So now we can add from our deck to our hand a Mitsurugi card. We are normal summoned Ice Ryzeal, so we can't normal summon Aramasa, but at the same time, Habakiri, another copy, doesn't really do a lot for us, so I don't think it like super matters what you grab here. And then we can special summon a Mitsurugi from the hand or graveyard. Yes, we're going to revive just one of our ones from the graveyard. It doesn't particularly matter which one. Actually, let's get Saji. Alright, and then now we can trigger the effect of the Murakumo that's in our graveyard. And we can add another Mitsurugi card from deck to hand. I'm going to add the Great Purification, the trap card, which is going to be another sort of Omni-Negate for our end board. Playing this is optional though. If you wanted to, you could just add another copy of Prayers and set that, but we're playing the trap card, so we'll grab that. Special summon, yes. We're going to go ahead and throw the Murakumo right over here. So now at this point, I'm going to do my one Link summon of the turn, and this is kind of the whole reason why I've been, somewhat avoiding the rank 4 lock, but this is just to add IP to your end board. So if at any point you are forced to kind of go into Sword, or if you do the combo line which way that you special summon Sword, it's really not that big of a deal. It just means you're not going to get access to IP Masquerada, which is still good because it lets you go into SP Light or Dynamundo, but not the end of the world. But to make IP, we're going to use definitely the Habakiri because it's a level 8 ritual. We can't really do much with it moving forward. And I'm going to use the Saji here. I definitely want to keep Murakumo in play because that's a negate/discard, which is obviously very good. And then the Duo Drive again is keeping the cross live here for now. So we're going to make an IP Masquerada. Alright, now we can special summon our Sword Ryzeal. This will lock us into rank 4. Of course, definitely want to keep that in mind. And then now we can add Star Ryzeal from our deck to our hand. Let's go ahead and special summon the Node Ryzeal as well. And, I mean, from here, it's like you have so many different ways that you can go about your combos. But what I think I'm actually going to do here is, well, first, let's go ahead and activate the Node Ryzeal effect. At this point, we could just send our extra Habakiri that's in our hand, because we're not really going to use that for much, and then we can revive one of the Ryzeal monsters in our graveyard. So this is going to look a little bit weird, but we're actually going to special summon Gallant Granite here. We can do that by throwing that right over there, and then we can activate the effect of Gallant Granite and add a rock monster from deck to hand. You might be wondering what kind of rock monster we're searching in a deck like this. It's Nibiru. It's literally exactly Nibiru. But this combo line lets you get a Nibiru search right in the middle of it, which is kind of crazy. Now we can activate Star Ryzeal, detaching the remaining overlay unit from our Gallant Granite and special summoning. This will trigger the effect of Star Ryzeal in order to set plug-in from our deck. And finally, we are going to make our detonator using our 2 remaining Ryzeal monsters. Of course, we can pick up an extra material, and we'll attach it like so. Set our Great Purification, And there you have it. So this is what one card gets you. But keep in mind, this looks like a board slash ending hand state after you started with a full hand of 5 cards. No, we only started with the 1 Ice Ryzeal in hand. So you will still have 4 other cards. Oh, also, this doesn't factor in the Ryzeal cross draw. Of course, we only have 1 Ryzeal card left in our graveyard after all that. But if you have any amount of extension, it's really easy to get the draw in there as well. But so yeah, with 1 card, we set up the IP, the Murakumo, which has a negate. Detonator, of course, we all know that one. We have a cross with a duo drive with the extra material, so to cross negate, we don't have to remove from our detonator. We have the plug-in. In case our opponent tries to throw like an imperm on the detonator, we can revive it. You know Ryzeal, you know how plug-in is used. And don't forget, we also added the Mitsurugi Great Purification, which does also act as a sort of, Omni-negate trap card. The Murakumo, of course, represents more than just a negate. If we special summon it during our opponent's turn, which is not terribly difficult to do, if we either tribute it or if we go into like Dynamundo, for example, we can then use the first effect to board wipe our opponent's monsters. So lots of layers of interactions all off of 1 card. You're probably starting to see just how strong this deck really is. But we actually still have another combo line to go over, so let me show you that one as well. Alright, so like any good meta deck, it's not just that your Ryzeal cards set up both Mitsurugi and Ryzeal, your Mitsurugi openers actually set up both Mitsurugi and Ryzeal plays as well. Here's how you do it. With Habakiri, if you open that, we're going to start by revealing it in our hand, and then we can special summon the Saji from our deck. We do have to tribute it right away. That's actually not a problem though, because Saji triggers whether it's summoned or tributed, much like the other Mitsurugi monsters. So let's go ahead and activate that effect, and we can grab Mitsurugi Ritual from our deck to our hand. Now we're going to activate Mitsurugi Ritual. We're going to want to ritual summon a reptile ritual monster from our hand first. We're going to summon the Habakiri from our hand by using, once again, like the last combo line, Night Sword Serpent, as well as Kusanagi from our deck as materials. Or not materials, but tribute, fodder, you know what I mean. So, this triggers both graveyard effects here. We can special summon the Night Sword Serpent, as well as activate the Kusanagi effect, which will allow us to add the Mitsurugi Ritual back from our graveyard to our hand. Night Sword Serpent can go right over here. We're going to activate Mitsurugi Ritual yet again. This time we're going to summon a monster from our deck. We'll tribute we're going to summon the Murakumo, called Murakumo, by attributing the Habakiri on our field. Now the Habakiri graveyard effect will activate. We can add a Mitsurugi card from deck to hand. We haven't normal summoned yet, so let's go ahead and grab the Aramasa here, and then of course we can revive the Habakiri. We will normal summon our Aramasa here. It doesn't really matter what we search here, because it's just going to be another copy of Habakiri that we can't use. And yeah, I mean, at this point you can probably already see where we're going here, but now that we have 2 level 4 monsters in play, we can make the rank 4 Ryzeal Duo Drive, and we can activate our Duo Drive's effect, detaching in order to search 2 Ryzeal cards. Now, normally you'd want to grab Cross plus something else, but here I'm actually going to grab Sword, and then I'm also going to get Node off of this search. You do have to get Node off of the search, because if you try to get X'd, well, X can only search if you only control level or rank 4 monsters. So that's the only way to search Node besides this Duo Drive, so we got to search it. And before we go ahead and lock ourselves into rank 4s, we can just make IP Masquerena with Duo Drive and Habakiri. Alright, so yep, that's the Mitsurugi side of our inboard here, the IP plus the Murakumo, and we still have the Sword that we can special summon because we have Duo Drive in the graveyard. So special summon Sword Ryzeal effect can activate. We can grab a Ryzeal monster from our deck to our hand. We can still grab X Ryzeal here, and then even if we don't get the search off of X Ryzeal, we can at least put the aggregator in our graveyard. We don't need to trigger the effect of aggregator though, because it's not going to be chain blocking the X search. Again, X cannot search here because we control monsters that aren't level or rank 4, but that's fine. That actually doesn't really matter here. What I'm going to do next is we're going to go into Infernal Flame Banshee. Special summon that right over here. We can activate the effect of Flame Banshee, detaching in order to search Star Ryzeal, and we're going to go ahead and of course add that to our hand. Now we can special summon Star Ryzeal, detaching the other material from Banshee. Activate the Star Ryzeal effect, and then we can set Cross. And that's how we set up Ryzeal Cross. So we can still, of course, special summon the node. We can activate node effect. We could even get rid of this extra Habakiri no Mitsurugi in our hand if we wanted to. And actually what we can do here, rather than reviving another one of these level 4 bodies and just having it sit on the field, we can even go so far as to get back Duo Drive. Then we can activate Duo Drive. Well, Duo Drive will be negated, so we're actually not going to be activating it there. Either way, it doesn't really matter what you get back because it's not like we can make another rank 4 here. We're just going to go ahead and make the Detonator. And then we can activate Detonator and pick up the Aggregator from the graveyard. If you did have another level 4 extender in your hand, then instead of reviving Duo Drive, you should definitely, of course, revive a level 4 Ryzeal monster. Then you can summon your level 4 extender and make yet another rank 4. But there you go. That's how opening the Habakiri can set you up with a Mitsurugi Ryzeal board. Alright, and finally, let's go ahead and show off the Mitsurugi Prayers line. We are playing 3 of this because this is actually yet another starter for our deck. Let's go ahead and activate the Mitsurugi Prayers. We don't have anything to tribute in this game state, of course, assuming we don't open anything else. So we're just going to activate one of the effects to add a Mitsurugi monster from our deck to our hand. I'm going to grab the Aramasa and add that. Now we can normal summon our Mitsurugi Aramasa and activate to add a Mitsurugi monster from deck to hand. Let's go ahead and grab the Habakiri. Now we can activate Habakiri's effect, revealing it in order to special summon Saji from our deck. And you can get rid of either one of these, it doesn't particularly matter which one. Aramasa, I suppose. Now Saji's effect will activate. We can add the Mitsurugi Ritual from our deck to our hand. Let's go ahead and activate the Mitsurugi Ritual. Once again, we're going to start by ritual summoning a Reptile Ritual monster from our hand using materials from our deck. As always, we're going to summon the Habakiri by using Night Sword Serpent and the Kusanagi in our deck. Throw that right over here. Now this will trigger the graveyard effects of both cards. We're going to go for Night Sword Serpent as well as Kusanagi. Kusanagi is going to add Mitsurugi Ritual back from our graveyard to our hand, and the Night Sword Serpent will, of course, special summon itself. Activate our Ritual, and we'll summon the Urakumo from our deck using Habakiri as material. This will, of course, trigger the effect of the Habakiri. And we can add the Mitsurugi Great Purification, since we already used the searching spell, of course, and we can even revive the Habakiri. Now, once again, we have 2 level 4 bodies. Let's go ahead and make the Duo Drive. And we'll activate Duo Drive's effect to search 2. Let's go ahead and grab Sword and Node like last time. We can special summon our Sword. Keep in mind this does rank 4 lock us. Oh, sorry, you would want to go into IP first. But honestly, the rest of the combo line plays out pretty much the same from here. After you go Duo Drive plus Habakiri to make the IP, then you special summon the Sword Ryzeal. Sword for X, for Banshee, for Star. Basically, it's going to be the exact same as our Habakiri combo line. Just make sure that you make the IP here and don't misclick like I did. But yeah, because it plays out exactly the same, I won't show the rest of the line here. You can refer back to the Habakiri line and see the latter half of that in order to see how to proceed with the line from here. But to describe it, basically, again, you go into Banshee, Banshee for Star, Star is set cross, and then from there you can summon Node and go into the Detonator with the Aggregator if you search the X off of Sword here. But alright, that is how to combo with Mitsurugi Ryzeal. Let's take a look at the build one more time. Alright, so now that you've seen the combo lines, I'm going to show you my day 1 build here. Now I can kind of talk about it a little bit since we kind of know what's going on with the build here and how it plays out. So, as mentioned before, I am on 44 cards, which is quite a bit, but at the same time, we're playing 15 starters in this deck, and a quick plugin of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Probability Calculator shows that even at 44 cards, we are still at an 89, I think, 0.3 something percent, basically a 90% chance to open one of our starters, even at 44 cards. I went up to 44 so I could have room for more hand traps. I'm playing 15 hand traps in this build. But if you wanted to go down on your overall hand or deck count rather, you could cut some of the hand traps. If you wanted to actually be even more consistent you'll note that I'm not even playing 7th Tachyon or Ascension in this build, so you could play even more searches for your Ryzeal cards if you wanted to. Because I'm not playing 7th Tachyon, I don't have one of the like 102 or 104. 102 is typically the better option. I don't have the 102 in my extra deck, but there's tons of space in the extra deck. I would probably just remove full armored Utopic Ray Lancer to make room for 102 if I wanted to play 7th Tachyon. But yeah, so like I said, 44 cards. We have 15 one-card starters as well as 15 hand traps here. For the Mitsurugi side of the deck, we're playing one of each of Night Sword Serpent, Kusanagi, Aramasa, and Saji, as well as only one Murakumo and one copy of Ritual and Great Purification. That's because, of course, these are all searchable within our combo line. The actual Mitsurugi starters that we really care about are Habakiri and Prayers, which we're playing 3 of each. But again, if you wanted to lean more into Ryzeal and less into Mitsurugi, you could even cut a couple of copies of Prayers and only go down to 1 and play 7th Tachyon / Ascension if you really wanted to. Keep in mind, though, that 7th Tachyon is going to lock you into rank 4s, so you're not going to be able to go IP to set up SP / Dynamundo. But to be fair, that's also not super important. These Link 2s are actually really optional. You don't have to play any Link monsters in this deck if you don't want to. You could just play more rank 4s, and then you don't really care about when you lock yourselves into rank 4. Because being a ritual archetype, Mitsurugi doesn't need to summon from the extra deck in order to, summon its main boss monster, right, the Murakumo. So that's another reason why these decks play so well together. Even if you're in a situation where you have to use like a rank 4 locking effect early, you can still potentially pivot into Mitsurugi stuff because it doesn't really need the extra deck at all. So we have a lot of rank 4 searches here. Of course, King of the Feral Imps, as mentioned, is the main bridge from Ryzeal into Mitsurugi. And then we also have the Banshee for Star, and again, Gallant Granite for Nibiru, which looks kind of insane. I know that reads really weird on paper, but even in the latest Duelist Cup, before Mitsurugi stuff even came out, we already saw players who were playing Gallant Granite just to search Nibiru. Because with a lot of these Ryzeal builds, it's really not that hard to incidentally make a rank 4, right? Anybody who's played Ryzeal knows that, like, there are a lot of hands where you're like, oh, I guess I can make Star Liege, or I can make Dugaris for a couple of extra draws, stuff that you don't really need. But the Gallant Granite search Nibiru, in case things really go south, it's a very funny option, as well as a fairly good one as well. The Great Purification itself is also really optional. I see a lot of builds that don't play it, and in any case where you would search it, you can simply search another Prayers instead, which is definitely not bad. Prayers can be set, it can be used on your opponent's turn, it can follow up, so there's a lot to do with it, right? It can also, if you set it, it can potentially revive the Murakumo from your graveyard, which would then allow you to destroy all cards on your opponent's field. So it's not even just that it's another option. There might even be some board states where if you want the board wipe more than an Omni Negate, you would want to search the Prayers instead of the Great Purification. So this card is definitely not required. I could even easily see myself cutting it. I have included it in the day 1 build mostly to try it out and see how it feels, right? But this could actually be a pretty good card to cut if you want to reduce your overall deck count without affecting your starter or hand trap ratios, right? Or if you want to make room for something like Triple Tack that isn't necessarily either of those categories, you could potentially cut the Great Purification here. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to explain about Mitsurugi Ryzeal going into day 1. So now hopefully you feel a little bit more prepared for the meta that is to come. It is definitely very scary. This deck is crazy consistent. It has so many starters. Again, we're not even playing all the starters that we could here because we don't have room. And you can definitely see how the Mitsurugi stuff isn't just another way to get into Ryzeal plays. It actually adds quite a bit to the end board. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Again, if you want to check out content early, join as a YouTube member. We also, over on patreon.com/hexlex, I upload multiple times a week over there, and all the videos I upload on Patreon are exclusive to that platform. They aren't shared anywhere else. So I also have coaching options available over there if you're interested. Head over to patreon.com/hexlex. But that's going to do it for now. Why don't we just go ahead and move on to our outro so we can thank those YouTube members and patrons. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.